Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. I have a meeting announcements. All meetings are live streamed on the City Channel Pittsburgh YouTube channel. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Here. Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross. Mr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle.
Here.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Mrs. Warwick. Here. Mr. Wilson. Here. Mrs. Cale Smith, President.
Here.
7 members present.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. During the moment of silence, we ask that you keep in your thoughts the Holocaust remembrance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda is amended. And our next order of business is proclamations, and I have one to be presented and several to be read into the record. And we'll begin with the one to be presented for Take a Father to School Day. Will the fathers on council please come forward? Councilman Wilson, Lavelle, Burgess. Come forward, please. We can do this together. And then we'll ask all the, I don't know who all Mark Brentley has here today, but I know one thing. When he started this a few years ago, he only had a few people. And now he packs the room. You're our father. That's right. Kim, you know what I forgot? My medicine.
Your medicine.
It's a Motrin. Motrin. It says Motrin. But I have 2 large pills on it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you. And where's the superintendent?
Superintendent Dr. Walters, we need to appear. Gentlemen, if you could just kind of fill it in.
Dr. Walters. Can Dr. Walters please come here, up here? Hi. And Brother Melvin, I know you're here for the mayor, correct?
And he's also a committee member as well.
And he's also a member of this for a lot of years, correct?
Yes, many years.
I remember. And then Zeke, do you want to come forward too?
Yes, sir.
For the mayor's office?
Hate to squeeze you.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Madam President, we got.
That's okay.
Come on in, guys. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Oh, you're good, big guy. You're good. Yes, sir. You're good.
We ready? Is that it? First of all, on behalf of City Council, I want to thank Mark Brentley for all that he's done to keep this going for many years. I remember when he first started it, and I thought, I don't know about this take your father to school thing. Yeah, I was a woman. I wanted women in there too. But he insisted, and it was a good reason for after the years I've learned, that he wanted to make sure fathers knew that they were also welcomed in schools. And an important part of the schools, and we actually have I don't think she's here today, but we have the head of our school crossing guards used to do parent and community engagement. I don't know if you remember Donna McManus. Mm-hmm. And back in the day, she made a direct correlation between parental involvement and the decrease in student referrals, the decrease in fights, the increase in attendance, and the better outcome educationally for the kids. So it really matters when you're involved. So I just want to thank him for having that foresight and making sure he brought that forward. So with that said, I'm going to read the proc. I'm going to turn it over first to Councilman Lavelle, Councilman Burgess, and Councilman Wilson to say a few words if they want, and then we'll turn it over to the superintendent and Mark Brentley and Brother Melvin. Whereas May 19th, 2023 has been designated as the 25th annual Take a Father to School Day in the Pittsburgh Public School District. And whereas this annual event involves every branch of the Pittsburgh Public School District and has attracted annually over 6,000 fathers and male guardians for the last 5 years. On this day, a father is any positive male role model in a child's life, a grandfather, a cousin, an uncle, older sibling, community leader, mentor, minister, etc. And whereas the goal of the Take Your Father to School Day is to bring men into the school building to establish better communication with the schools, understand that they are welcomed in the schools and explore opportunities for volunteering and becoming more involved in their child's education. Whereas research suggests that the involvement of fathers exerts a distinct and independent influence on whether children ever even repeat a grade, get mostly A's, or enjoy school, and participate in extracurricular activities. And whereas the theme for the 25th annual Take a Father to School Day is proud, purposeful, and supportive. Whereas when fathers intentionally let their kids know that they are proud of them, that they are purposeful, and that they support their efforts, it reinforces love and a healthy sense of who they are, which helps them to build confidence. And whereas Pittsburgh Public Schools would like to acknowledge this year's partners, the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Pirates, Pittsburgh Penguins, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh Science Center, as well as local men's groups and a variety of organizations that have continued to support the success of Take a Father to School Day initiative over the years. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and honor the important work of this program and the volunteers and participants who continuously commit themselves to the education and development of our city's children. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare April 18th, 2023 to be Take a Father to School Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Can I have a motion to approve in a second?
So moved.
And second? All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamation's approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be very brief. As a proud parent of 2 current PPS students, I can certainly attest to the importance of being engaged actively in their school career. It does make a difference. I want to thank Madam President for the proclamation, Mr. Brentley for his years of dedication to this effort. I want to thank Dr. Walters for his strong leadership at the school and all of his staff that is here with us today. And most importantly, I want to thank all the brothers who showed up this morning to speak to the importance of being engaged in your child's activities within the school. And I want to thank all the other hundreds that will participate in this day who couldn't be with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you to everyone who organizes this fabulous event. It's always something to look forward to every year. Thank you, Mark Brentley, and thank you to everyone here, all the mentors that are out there, especially ones that are out there right now doing the good work. But I look around the room here, and I see many of you that we work with on a daily basis in terms of whether it's youth programming or after-school programming, whether it's other types of programs that really get to the youth. And that's what's most important that I see in this program, is that everyone here is stepping up to make sure that they're making an impact on a child's life. So thank you for having this today, and appreciate your time.
Certainly, we want to celebrate the presence and the power of fathers in the life of their children. We want to congratulate the superintendent. We want to congratulate Mark Brentley, who is the architect of this movement. I had not planned to speak, but since I'm here, I will suggest a challenge. I too am a father, and my children now are grown. I think the challenge is not just to go to school and not just be involved in school, But the challenge is what we're going to do with these children when they're out of school. Because they're out of school after 3, they're out of school on Saturdays, they're out of school on Sundays. So my challenge, because I think the superintendent is a erudite and apt leader, I think the real challenge is, can we come together as a family, as a community, church, family, community, and meet the needs of these kids when they're not in school, in the afternoons, in the evenings, on Saturdays, and give them the academic enrichment and the counseling and the love and a little bit of Jesus that they need. And so I hope, that's my challenge, and I'm going to invest my time. I hope to sunset part of my life. But when that life sunsets, my involvement will be with children and making sure children receive the things they need outside of school. And so I am grateful for this moment. I'm grateful to be part of this moment. But I think the challenge for us, because the pandemic has made our kids behind. And so we need to understand that this, in some ways, is the greatest educational challenge we've had in decades. And so the idea now is, what are we going to do with these babies when the kids are out of school in the evenings, on Saturdays and on Sundays? And so that's my challenge, and I'm willing to work with you to make that a reality.
And I apologize, but Brother Melvin has a proclamation to be presented by Mayor Gainey, and I don't know if you, Zeke, also want to add a few words? Okay, but you first. You first, because I know Mark Brentley's going to say a few words, but you've been with this since the beginning.
Thank you.
That I recall, correct?
That's right.
Okay, you'll say a few words.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is a proud day to stand here for the 25th anniversary of the Take Your Father to School Day. And we're going to read this proclamation, but I want to need your help. I'm going to do what they call a RICO. RICO was born about 5 months ago, and it calls for you to help me read this. No, not the litany, y'all. Not the litany. When I say whereas, I want you to say PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, I can't say it, my teeth is in the way, and supportive. Can we try that? Whereas. No. I say whereas, then you say PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. You got it? All right, I think you do. City of Pittsburgh, Office of the Mayor, a proclamation, Take a Father to School Day, PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. Whereas, PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. Friday, May 19th, 2023 has been designated as the 25th anniversary of the Take Your Father to School Day in the Pittsburgh Public School District. And whereas, PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. The committee is thanking some of our financial partners, thanks to our superintendents, Dr. Helen Faison, Dr. John Thompson, Dr. Andy King, Mark Roosevelt, Dr. Linda Lane, Dr. Anthony Hamlin, and last but not least, Dr. Wayne Walters. Sending an abundance of thanks to PPS board administrators, principals, teachers, staff, support, custodians, counselors, social workers, and the communication department. A very special acknowledgement is to Representative Ed C. Gainey for his steadfast support for the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. And whereas, PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. Sending an abundance of gratitude to the Pittsburgh Public School District Board of Directors for their unwavering support over the 25 years of Take a Father to School Day. Some of the members are Dr. Regina Hawley, Thomas Sumter, Sylvia Wilson, Randall Taylor, Alex Matthews, Veronica Edwards, and Cynthia Falls. And whereas, PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. And whereas, PPS fathers, proud, purposeful, and supportive. The backbone and ultimate success of Take a Father to School Day has been dedicated PPS staff assigned to work with the committee. We sincerely thank Linnell Reed, Larry Meadows, Langir Niger, and Erica Gandy. But a special thanks goes out to Ebony Pugh, Mercedes Howes Williams, and my longtime friend, Erica Farabee Jones. Isn't that nice, huh?
Good way to close the meeting.
And whereas, PPS fathers, proud, Father School Day Committee consists of Mark Brentley Sr., Michael Nicholas, who's that? Mr. Mike. Brandon Phillips, Larry Davis, Tim Gutz, Rafiq Payne, Eric Smith, James Saunders, George Fleming, Howard Randolph, Mark Redicus, Henry Struthers, Dwayne Barker, Mark Brentley Jr., James Carmine, remember his name, see? And Melvin Hubbard-Hill. And whereas, therefore, Ed Gainey, Mayor of the City of Pittsburgh, do hereby proclaim April 18th, 2023 as Take a Father School Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Thank you very much.
That had to be the most exciting proc we ever gave you. And I'll turn it over to Mark Brentley, who did a lot of organizing for this over the years, and thank you very much for everything you've done. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, council members, as well as Council President Teresa Cale Smith. I want to say, too, that Teresa and I go way, way back before she was on council, and we've been activists for years around issues around education for children. We have a couple of things we want to mention very quickly. We've got to get going. We have food downstairs, and we have T-shirts for all of the men, and we do want to take one great pictures, but I'd like to bring forward our superintendent, Dr. Wayne Walters. I'll mention at the end our initiative that we're kicking off to answer part of the challenge that the Honorable Councilman Burgess made. So, Dr. Wayne Walters, would you please come forward?
Good morning. Good morning, City Council, Madam President, and all of the individuals who are here. I am Dr. Wayne Walters, proud superintendent of the Pittsburgh Public Schools. And I bring you greetings on behalf of our board of directors, our active leadership team, our over 2,100 teachers and principals, and over 4,000 staff proudly serving the children of Pittsburgh on a daily basis. And so I'm excited to be here. 25 years is a long time to be doing something. And so I celebrate Mr. Mark Brentley and his team for really bringing something to our schools that is essential: the presence of men. The presence of men. It is a welcomed counter-narrative to the narrative that men are not involved in the education of their children. And just on one day, to show Pittsburgh that our men do care about our children, are deeply invested in our children, and more importantly, their education, because men too know that the world is extremely cruel to those who are not well educated. And so their presence brings promise, brings hope, brings representation, brings visualization, so our children know that the entire community is behind them and their educational endeavors. So again, I just want to thank the representation of all of the men here today to celebrate, because this is a day of celebration. This is a day of changing the narrative and showing the city of Pittsburgh that our men do care as deeply as the women about the education of our children. Thank you and enjoy your day.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your comments. And folks, what we're going to do is move forward. If you folks can start moving towards the front, if I mention your name, we're going to have Brother Mike Nichols, who's going to come forward and do the litany that we talked about. Pull out your litany. There's a section where it's a call and response, where we will say something, and then the leader will say something in response. Mike will lead that. Moving towards another one of the microphones, either here would be Brother Dwayne, who's... Who?
These folks are doing that. William Briscoe, he's the father of the school.
Okay.
William Briscoe, call his name.
Let me do this, and you can do that. We will, Mike Nichols will come and do the litany. Mike?
Call their names out, Mike. Call the brothers' names out so they help you.
Okay. William Briscoe, Adam Pomasick, and Dr. Griffin Eel. Please come forward.
But they can use the microphone. This is the litany.
You gotta explain what it is.
This is the Litany of Commitment, written by Dr. Wayne N. Walters, Superintendent of Pittsburgh Public Schools. 15 years ago. We dedicate the 2023 Take Your Father to School Day to the involvement of fathers and father figures in the education of their children and to the collaborative support of educators and other stakeholders.
We rejoice that fathers and father figures, students, educators, and supporters are assembled under the banner of Pittsburgh Public Schools, Take a Father to School Day.
We ask for guidance as we grow in our development concerning the importance and the impact of fathers and father figures, and our need to embrace relationships and resources for the benefit of our children we love and cherish deeply.
To the honor of the community and all those who share a responsibility in raising our youth, to the administrators, teachers, parents, community leaders who are responsible for the quality of education for our children.
We dedicate
2023
Pittsburgh Public Schools Take Your Father to School Day. To overcome the low levels of performance and the need for us to visualize, actualize, initiative-wise, and conceptualize and realize that we are a critical piece in a child's physical, social, emotional, artistic, and cognitive development. We raise our collective voices with a sense of urgency to say, feel, believe, and show to all that we are here, we are proud, and we are committed. To the call for new and extended independent initiatives in education where fathers and father figures can be regularly seen, heard, and represented throughout the educational experience. We pledge our commitment as fathers and father figures to do what is necessary for ourselves, our children, and our future, as we understand that some things we must do for ourselves. These shed blood and life through years bring us to this point. We are grateful for this opportunity. We dedicate ourselves to our children and for the future by continually serving as positive representation of fathers and father figures in Pittsburgh. We acknowledge that both presence and presence speak volumes for our children and pledge to continue to make a life of a child.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mike, and most folks will identify Mr. Mike as Mr. Mike the Reader. Over 30 plus years, this man has been in and out of schools and community centers doing nothing more but reading. And so we thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mike. Next, we're going to have Brother Dwayne, if you can make it to this microphone here, who's just going to just briefly, or one of those, I'm sure, he will briefly identify some of the folks that are here. Followed by Brother Dwayne is Brother Malner. Where are you? Please get behind Brother Dwayne. Okay, oh, you can come up top. Okay. But I want to take a moment to talk about even the challenge that the Honorable Councilman made. One of our initiatives this year is for the next 2 years, we're asking men that are here and those who are watching, we're kicking off what we're referring to as the Pittsburgh Public Schools 412. 412 simply means for the next 4 months, we're asking you to take one book and to read to at least 2 children or 2 students once a week. That's not hard, right? National reports suggest that our students have lost about 6 months of educational learning from the pandemic. It is our job now, man. And when you do it, we want you to hashtag. Just send us a picture with you under the tree or in the home, but you got to turn the TVs off, right? And we got to turn the music off, and we got to start reading them. And when you do it, we want you to hashtag. Somebody shout out the hashtag. What is it? PPS Fathers? Somebody, is that the right one? PPS Fathers. Hashtag it, because the next 4 months would be over the summer. We're going to try to see if we can come close to 1,000 hours of reading to students. I know you're up for the challenge. Our mothers have already been doing that. You're late, okay? So we have to join them, okay? Brother Dwayne, please. You right here? Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Fathers, before we get started, I would love for us to give a round of applause for the original trailblazers of education, every woman that is in our presence and every woman that has put us through school. Can we all give them a round of applause and say thank you? Without these moms, me moms, grandmas, aunties, even older cousins as our babysitters, some of us probably wouldn't have made it through. They were the comfort and the determination that we needed in order to be where we are today. And again, thank you, ladies, for continuously pushing us to be better men and pushing us to be better fathers. Let me give a shout out to a couple of organizations that have supported Take a Father to School Days movement. I would like to say thank you to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Carnegie Science Center, and the Carnegie Library. Can we give them a round of applause, please? We would also like to give a thanks to all of the organizations and fathers who have been extremely dedicated to making sure that this was a continuous annual thing in regards to Take a Father to School Day. So can we just give a round of applause for all organizations that continue to stand with us in solidarity. And for those folk who are no longer with us because they've, dedicated their life to making sure that our youth were always loved on. Could we have a moment of silence for them really quickly? Thank you all. Continue to be great at what you do. Continue to support our youth, because if we do not step up and make sure that they're successful and they do not make it, it is our fault. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brother Dwayne. We just have one or two more little announcements we want to make, but while Brother Andrew Medlar, who is the president and director of the Carnegie Library, is here or moving forward, I want to just mention to those folks who are in the audience, we identified members who were on the planning committee for over the last 25 years. I'm extremely excited because we've been able to track down 95% of them. And at some point, they've played a role in planning and putting this together each and every year. So those men who are here with these special shirts on, and just raise your right hand and we lean back and say, woo! We just want to acknowledge them because we're all volunteers and we all were able to come together. Brother Medlar, who's going to come from the Carnegie Library to say a few words, but while he's here, moving forward, is Brother Tim, if you can come forward. This is a member of our committee and also a former parent. He's just going to take a couple of seconds to share his experience. Where's my brother? Brother Medlar, where you at?
Yes.
Yeah, you go.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I am so honored to be here, and on behalf of the amazing and dedicated Board of Trustees of Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, many of whom are in this room and on the video today, and my 400 valued and talented colleagues, I want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this amazing work and to celebrate with all of you and to look forward to the 25th annual Take a Father to School Day. I will say that I really live the mission of our public library. I am a children's librarian. I couldn't help it. My father's an elementary school principal. My mother's a librarian. I couldn't escape. Nature and nurture is what brings me to do this work with you all so passionately. And I thank you for that. And it is something that we do together because our youngest neighbors are everyone's responsibility. And your public libraries here, we are committed to fostering their growth and all of our growth together. Now, I will also say that where can you go with your young people and your most beloved youngsters in your life after school and on Saturdays and on Sundays and in the evenings? To your public library. Please come to your library and discover and read and engage and be part of the diverse and amazing resources that we have, the talented people, the millions of books, the ebooks, the digital magazines, the tutors that we have, the recording studios that we have, the story times, the workforce development that we have, the comfortable seats, the charging stations, the after-school snacks that we have, and the loving and supportive neighbors that are at every Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. And I just want to say that in those millions of books that we have, so it should be easy to pick the ones you're going to read, right? To all the kids in your life that we were talking about, there is a book for every single one of us. Now, you may have a young person who says, oh, I don't like to read. Books are boring. But I promise you that every single one of us and every single young person that we love loves something, is interested in something, is passionate about something, and wants to know something. And of the millions of books in our library, there is one for them about that to inspire them and support them and lead them forward together with all of us to a successful, to a happy, to a safe life with access to knowledge without barriers, and it's something that we do together. Thank you for letting us be a part of this. Be your partners, not just today, not just on Take a Father to Work Day, but every day. Thank you for that, and I'll see you at the library. Thank you.
Thank you, President Medler. We really appreciate it. Brother Tim is going to say a few words, but moving forward, we are so honored because we have the Honorable Judge Dwayne Woodruff, and we, first of all, want to thank him for his patience, for being able to pull him away from his schedule, but he's here. If you can start moving forward, please, Judge, after Tim's comments. Tim?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Tim. I'm a proud father of 3, and I'm not also just a committee member. I'm also a recipient of the positive outcome what Take Your Father to School Day is. I have 3 daughters, one in college now, and she started in preschool and went all the way through with Dr. Walters through Obama, graduated, and she's doing very well now. And it's not just attributed to my wife and me, it's also the entirety of the Take Your Father to School Day, the positive role models that were around them, not just me, myself, and I. Is Brother Mel, she grew, and my other 2 daughters also growing and developing. And one of the things that is very important to us as a family was that they always saw positive role models, men in the schools, reading to them. And overall, that is my story. Then I can attest to the positivity of all of the programs associated with this Take Your Father to School Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Tim. And he mentioned it, but we also want to emphasize not only being a committee member, but he is also a parent, so he still have children in the district. Let's have a round of applause for the Honorable Judge Dwayne Woodruff and former Pittsburgh Steelers.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I tell you, it's great to be here. I do not want to leave out the mothers and the women as well, so I just want to say thank you to you as well. You obviously, as men, there's not much we can do without women. We are here to celebrate men, fathers that teach their children, provide for their children, discipline their children, love their children, and pray for their children. We celebrate the Mark Bentleys that saw a need and had a vision of a program such as Take Your Father to School Day, and he worked to make it happen. Sometimes to encourage and support families, we may have to overcome some major obstacles, fight against the odds, break through the barriers, walk through the fire, one may say. We must be overcomers. We have fought in the fields of Gettysburg to gain freedom, walked across bridges in Selma to vote, boycotted buses in Montgomery to be able to sit on the bus. In Pittsburgh, the legacy, particularly of African American men and men in general, is one of faith, one of perseverance, intelligence, strength, honor, dignity. We pass on that legacy with this program, Take Your Father to School Day. We set the example in order that our children can carry on the manner in which they have learned, in order that they are equipped to become leaders of tomorrow. We're standing up. As I say in my courtroom all the time, particularly the men, I'm glad you're showing up. We are praying up. We're being all that we can be so that our kids will know that they too can live up to the God-given potential that they have and be successful in life. Today we celebrate. We celebrate Take Your Father to School Day and all the men who stand up and show up to pass on this legacy. May God bless this council. May God bless these men. And may God bless all of you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Judge. Thank you. And folks, we're going to close. And guys, as you know, we always close with a determination, and that is we put our fist in the air, right hand. This fist just simply means determined. We're determined to read to our children. We are determined to get involved. We're determined to reach 1,000 hours over the summer of reading. But we're going to ask, if the judge is still here, if he would be willing to lead this chair. And all you do, Judge, is say Pittsburgh 3 times, and each time we say fathers as loud as we can. Would you be willing to do?
Of course.
Yes, sir. And you're Pittsburgh Steelers. So yes, sir. Go ahead.
We ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pittsburgh.
Fathers!
Pittsburgh.
Fathers!
Pittsburgh.
Fathers! All right. Thank you. All right, gentlemen. On your way out, Brother Emu's out. The email's going to be out there to show us where we need to, or Mercedes.
So we're stopping here to take a photo.
Oh, you're going to stop here?
Yeah, but we can have some income up front here.
Okay.
Okay.
I just also want to acknowledge that Mayor Gainey sent over almost his entire public safety department, so I want to thank them. They had to leave, but they were here earlier, so I want to acknowledge them. Thank you.
So that's the change. We're going to stay here for the picture.
So Mr. Brinkley,
Yes.
Dr. Walters, and City Council, they also want you up front for the photo. Please.
You want us here or?
No, here.
Okay, we're coming
This
down.
is where I stay.
Well, we want to stay with her.
I know.
Hey, Mercedes, this isn't good for us here. Mercedes, can we just fill in here because we're already in place here?
Well, we want to see you in front.
I know.
Everybody else will be in the back.
I stay here.
You got to stay here.
I'm staying here, yeah.
We have a seat. All right, can we just move in a little bit? Everybody's moving in.
I can't even.
Dr. Walters, Mr. Brinkley.
Come on, Judge. That's what we're going to do. All right. Okay.
You can go down. Go down, be with the guys. I'm okay. I've been with you for 25 years doing it.
swear to God.
Yeah, that's, I know that's, I know why they did that.
Hey, we need to move him.
Mike Dean.
And I also want to mention,
The
they can't hear me. I just also want to mention that we have BPEP here with Tim Stevens. Is Tim Stevens? Well, I was trying not to say Pittsburgh.
Everybody look dead center, dead center. Don't go nowhere, you lied. There's like 20 more.
Hey, Mark, can we get the president down in front of you? Because she won't be seen.
That's okay. I've been with him for 25 years. So.
One more. Right here. Captain Crunch in here. Here we go. 3, 2. All right.
Thank
you. Okay, real quick, everyone. I'm going to have all the gentlemen in the blue shirts out here under the sign. Boom, come on, let's go. Okay, and also,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Mark Brentley. Thank you, Superintendent. Thank you, Director of the Library. Where is he? So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, thank you.
Hey, man, what's up? How you doing? I've enjoyed my vacation.
Good to see you. Always good to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. He's here.
It's a trick seat. I'll put that to Bruce. Makes you want to flip back. This is much better.
How's the campaign going?
It's good. Ref. Ricardo, what's up, my man? How you doing, Ref? Mr. Stevens, how are you?
He's my friend. If I see him preach, my son and daughter, his wife, my son is what? His wife is out of luck. And then they can't so they met. So he's like he's a veteran. He's in it. So congratulations. And I talked to him a little bit about recruitment, about using the church as a model recruitment. So I think some ideas about the church and and creating more direct links between churches. Oh yeah. Let's think about that. Okay? Yes, sir. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Madam Clerk, we have a... And now we'll move on to our proclamations to be read. Yes. Madam Clerk.
Oh, you're an old politician, that's why.
7 high.
One moment, please.
7 high. 7 high. 7 high.
Councilman Coghill presents
Now there be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend Linda R. Wortham, and be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 to be Linda R. Wortham Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And he also presents, now therefore be resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend Mary Ann Raymer, and be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 to be Mary Ann Raymer Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And Councilman Coghill also presents, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend Patricia O'Kelly, and be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 to be Patricia O'Kelly Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Can we have a motion to approve in a second, Councilman Coghill? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamations are approved. Thank you. And that moves us on to our, thank you, Madam Clerk. Our next order of business, which is public comment. I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before City Council. Threats and profanity will not be permitted. When you are called to speak, please state your name and neighborhood for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller. Dr. Miller?
Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller, Bill Hoover. I'm a Global Intelligence Society U.S. National Candidate for President, globalintelligencesociety.org. These cameras really are an impediment to being able to see, and they're completely unnecessary in the age of AI. This is really stupid to have this happen. A concern of this council and myself is violence. And the unfortunate violence is happening to our children across the United States, including in the Pittsburgh public schools. It is our view that it is not safe enough in the Pittsburgh public schools for our children. By violence, Morezzo in Nihongo, we, the U.S. American people, we use violence to solve our problems, especially using killing. It's not unusual. The problem of British oppression in 1776, 20,000 British soldiers are killed. Problem of states' rights, 1861 to 1865 in the U.S. American Civil War, war between the states, greater than 600,000 soldiers are killed. This is a major way that U.S. Americans solve problems using violence. Why should we be so surprised at mass murderers in the United States of America? It is not a surprise. We watch television, and television over time shows us hundreds of thousands of murders, of killing. It continues. John Wick is one of the most important film series of all time. Many of our U.S. American males, I don't know about the men who just walked out the door, but expect in John Wick 4 what happened in John Wick 1, 2, and 3, and more. $400 million in that series. It's popular. It makes a lot of money. Sylvester Stallone and Zoe Saldana in Colombiana. You should see that. If you haven't seen it, see it. We have a problem with violence that stresses atavism rather than altruism. I'm not saying that altruism isn't there. But how do we solve problems in the United States of America? We send soldiers to Iran. We send soldiers to Iraq. We send, not to Iran, but to Iraq, to Vietnam. And now we find them in the Ukraine. And violence is an atavistic problem for humans. Asians killing Asians. Africans killing Africans in Rwanda. What do we do about this? We have to stress something else.
Our next registered speaker is Naomi Mullen. Naomi, online?
Here. I honor my husband, who was a true City of Pittsburgh public servant from the 1970s until 2021. He also participated in schools. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. This is for you, Michael. We, the people of Bon Air, are the real stakeholders. We have paid our mortgages, paid our taxes, and we voted. We have shown up at the town hall meeting to give a resounding no to developing the building. We have signed a petition to say we want a green space, not a building. We have property value and quality of life to protect. According to the Pennsylvania Constitution, the purpose of government is for the peace, safety, and happiness of the people they serve. The Bon Air Memorial Green Space is the solution for the peace, safety, and happiness of the Bon Air community. Without that, there is no valid governance. We do not consent to a detrimental building remaining to decay the community we have built and maintained. Former Mayor Peduto was defeated and left in disgrace. He appointed a panel that claimed the Bon Air Elementary School building should remain. We, the people of Bon Air, have driven past former school buildings and heard the stories of human feces in the hallways and criminal acts in and around those buildings. We, the people, say no to any use of the school except as a green space. It is no wonder that issues with the school district persist. Checks and balances don't exist when the same person who is the controller for the city and he's the controller for the Pittsburgh Public Schools. Is that a conflict of interest? When the same person moves on to work for the county, they still oversee county property. We, the people of Bon Air, welcome a green space to replace this detrimental building. After having 3 youths taken out of the building in handcuffs and 4 others fled, it shows the escalation of the problem there. The opportunity is here and now to create a green space by condemning and tearing it down. The building needs to go. It's caused a threat to the peace, safety, and happiness of the Bon Air community. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next registered speaker is Shane Quinn, L. Shane Quinn. Good morning.
I'm Shane. I'm not a resident of the city of Pittsburgh, but I do work for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and come before you today to ask for a resolution in support of our strike. We've been making $9 an hour since 2005. We're going on strike, as many of you have heard, and that's really the reason I came here today, is to ask for the support of the council. $9.35 an hour is just incredibly low, especially in 2023, and would ask you guys to come down and help us picket on Thursday. We are in negotiations this afternoon. I'm not a member of the union board. I'm just a member of the union, and they're taking advantage of us because we're part-time employees, and our union board is also part-time, and they're paid me $100 a month to do the work that they're doing, and they're fighting against multi-million-dollar company that won't even pay us $12 an hour. So that's my comments today, and we hope to see you down there on Thursday. And if you guys would pass a resolution in support of us, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next speaker, registered speaker, is Puma Chakmam Yahalahi.
Greetings, everyone. In Lekek Alakain, the light in me honors the light in you. My title is East Pamai Chakmam Yahalahi, and I'm the Grand Council member of the Iroquois Confederacy of Aboriginal American People. I'm also the Grand Inca Chief of my nation, the Onkwe Aborigines Nations of the Americas, and as well, the creator of EPA, which is a indigenous farm forestry, arts and cultural indigenous organization. And we focus on things that are sustainable as it relates to food, as it relates to our culture being placed in the educational system, our story, which is the story of the Americas, and this part in particular, the North America, the story that doesn't get told. We have been hidden in plain sight, and we choose to stay hidden no longer. And so we thank everyone who have been working with us, Food Policy Council, Food Justice Fund Committee, Grow Pittsburgh, Allegheny Land Trust, Trolley, Three Rivers Agricultural Land Initiative, and it goes on and on and on. We have had many great interactions with the various organizations that are leading the charge in food sustainability and leading the charge in housing and justice for all people. And if Pittsburgh says it's inclusive and wants to stand as one of the most inclusive cities here on this continent in the Americas, then to stand with the Aborigine people is paramount. It is everyone's duty to be honorable on our land as it is being occupied continually. So we have the opportunity moving forward with great innovative ideas that are long-standing, traditional ideas on how to mitigate climate concerns, how to work with the climate as opposed to being afraid and fear-mongered about the climate. There are great sustainable ancient methodologies of growing food, planting trees, sustaining the environment with water catchment systems and so many great concepts that have been given different names over the time period since everyone came here and knew nothing about our culture, knew nothing about our language or our heritage. And we taught everyone how to grow food. That is everyone. There was no Africans that were brought here that grew automatically. They couldn't know our land and our soil and the way our climate exists. So we have assisted everyone from every part of the globe who have come here. And now it is time to be honorable to your oath to the Constitution. Everyone, right? Everybody, citizens, immigrants, illegals, whatever you call your people, a lot of different things. My point is, let us come together as our ancestors once did at the peace talks table. We have great innovative ideas as the indigenous peoples here, and it is time that we all sit together and speak about great sustainable methods and create housing.
Thank you. And our next registered speaker is Ikahana Helmakina. Is she on? Okay, thank you.
Greetings and good day. It's my Kealakaing. Have honored, protected, and stewarded the land that we cherish, known as America. My people have a deep spiritual connection to the land. I caution this council and its affiliates to take a closer look into reestablishing communication with indigenous people of Aborigine American descent. When it comes to our land stewardship, not enough input and direct involvement with our people has resulted in land erosion, poor air quality, melting glaciers, flooding, destructive tornadoes, and drought in areas not even prone to such weather. AMOC, the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, controls the water flow globally, bringing necessary nutrients to sustain the earth and ocean life, which is part of our ecosystem. These are just a few environmental concerns that have a long-term effect on our existence on Earth. So before we direct water flows in local streams, lakes, rivers, we must consider its long-term impact on a global scale. I have the distinguished, honorable, noble opportunity to be a voice for my people and to be a voice for other nation states that we support as well along our journey to reclaim and rebuild and restore our culture and land and resources in America. For far too long, we have been the most marginalized, criminalized, miseducated, underserved, overlooked people in America. So as billions of dollars are flowing through to address opioid usage and the effects of violence in the inner city, across towns across the United States. I just want to make sure that efforts are being made to protect the environment and to protect the indigenous people of America before the damage is beyond repair. I thank you for hearing my voice. It is time to take action. Thank you and have a wonderful day. In La King. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you and have a good day. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. Is there anyone in chambers wishing to address City Council? Is there anyone in chambers wishing to address City Council? Seeing no further speakers, we'll now move on to our next order of business, which is the presentation of papers. And we'll begin with Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Committee Chair of Human Resources. Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Anthony Coghill presents Bill 1429, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Allegheny Crane and Rigging, 4200 Steubenville Pike, Pittsburgh, PA 15205, in an amount not to exceed $975,000 for emergency crane rental and operation in response to the Fern Hollow Bridge incident of January 2022.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs. Thank you, Councilman Coghill, for Councilwoman Gross.
Councilwoman Deborah L. Gross presents Bill 1430, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 2117 and through 2127 Rose Street, 5th Ward, Pittsburgh, PA 15219. Bill 1431, a resolution authorizing the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh or an Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh affiliate to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the following publicly owned properties in the 18th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 15M, lots 99, 102, 103, 104, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 126, 127, and 128, Council District Number 3. Bill 1432, a resolution authorizing the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh or an Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh affiliate to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the following publicly owned properties in the 15th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 56C, lots 224, 226, 227, 228, 229, and 230, Council District Number 5. Bill 1433, resolution approving execution of a deed by and between the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh and the City of Pittsburgh for the sale of Block 31G, Lot 202, formerly a part of Block 31G, Lot 200, in the 31st Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, Hayes Woods, Council District Number 5. And Bill 1434, resolution requesting the approval of an intermunicipal transfer of a liquor license from Boca Inc., located at 3942 William Penn Highway, Monroeville, PA 15146, to the applicant Cura Sushi USA Inc., doing business as Cura Revolving Sushi Bar, located at 415 Cinema Drive, Pittsburgh, PA 15203, pursuant to amended Pennsylvania Liquor Code.
Thank you. And Councilman Kraus, Chair of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Bruce Kraus presents Bill 1435, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for grant funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Community Conservation Partnerships Program to provide funding for the Southside Three Rivers Heritage Trail repaving project. The grant proposal includes an ask of $44,689 with a match of $44,689 from the City of Pittsburgh's capital budget for a total project cost of $89,378 for this stated purpose. Bill 1436, resolution providing for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the Elizabeth Street Bridge Rehabilitation Project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $650,000, an increase of $298,000 from the previously executed agreement. This resolution serves to authorize only the amended reimbursement agreement or agreements at no cost to the City of Pittsburgh. Further resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. Bill 1437, resolution providing for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the Heron Avenue Bridge project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $721,000, an increase of $330,000 from the previously executed agreement. This resolution serves to authorize only the amended reimbursement agreement or agreements at no cost to the City of Pittsburgh. Further resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. And Bill 1438, resolution amending Resolution 305 of 2022 entitled, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into a license agreement with Allegheny County to provide access for the city to detour bicycle trail facilities during certain city construction activities along McKean Street, to modify the language to authorize a new agreement with the county for further trail detours.
Thank you. And Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law. Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill 1439, resolution amending Resolution Number 52 of 2020, which authorized a professional services agreement or contract extension with B2G Now by increasing the total spend by $101,670 for a new not to exceed amount of $161,243. And Bill 1440, resolution further amending Resolution Number 723 of 2022, effective December 27, 2022, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2023 capital budget, the 2023 Community Development Program, and the 2023 through 2028 Capital Improvement Program by increasing Heron Avenue Bridge by $330,000 and Elizabeth Street Bridge by $298,000.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services. Thank you, Councilwoman. And Councilwoman Warwick, Chair of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
Councilwoman Barbara Warwick presents Bill 1441, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter an agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with Computronics USA, Inc. for a 3-year term with 2 one-year renewal options to provide ongoing professional services to continue to develop and upgrade the Posse LMS system in support of the One-Stop PGH permitting program, meeting the needs of the City of Pittsburgh at a sum not to exceed $2,526,254. And Bill 1442, resolution amending Resolution Number 418 of 2022, which authorized the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance to enter into a maintenance agreement with OPEX Corporation for maintenance services related to the Falcon Red document scanning workstation by adding a year of maintenance services at a cost not to exceed $23,000.
Thank you. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Bobby Wilson presents Bill 1443, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of City Planning to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in the amount of $12,500 to complete an architectural survey of the Crawford Roberts neighborhood. And Bill 1444, resolution that the mayor and the director of city planning on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh are hereby authorized to enter into a professional services agreement with Keenan Sayes to aid in the research and project management of the city of Pittsburgh's equity audit of public art and memorials at a cost not to exceed $15,000.
Thank you. And myself, Chair of Hearings and Policy, I have one appointment. Madam Clerk, thank you.
Councilwoman Teresa Kell Smith presents Bill 1445, a resolution appointing Amira Gilchrist as Chief of the Bureau of Emergency Medical Services of the City of Pittsburgh.
What's the will of the body? To interview or to read, receive, and file? I'm good with her because we've worked with her for so long, and I think it's a great appointment.
Motion to read, receive, and file.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? All in favor? And congratulations to Amira Gilchrist, and thank you to the mayor for submitting a great name. Is there any unfinished business before council? Seeing none, the next order of business is reports of committee for final action. All in favor of the passage vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. I'm sorry, Councilman Lavelle. I got ahead of myself. Councilman Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law.
Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Daniel Lavelle presents Bill 1424, the report of the Committee of Finance and Law for April 12, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1309, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Spillman, Thomas, and Battle for legal services in connection with a police litigation matter for an amount not to exceed $17,023.80. Also, Bill 1312, resolution authorizing the execution of quitclaim deeds conveying all of the city's right, title, and interest in and to the city-owned property located in the 15th Ward of the city at 624 Tesla Street, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 55M, Lot 302, and Block 55M, Lot 305, to the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority. Bill 1361, resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the City of Pittsburgh at sales tax, items A through J. 5463 Broad Street, 0 Mountain Avenue, 0 Pliny Way, 540 Herschel Street, 916 Elkton Street, 228 Stanhope Street, 0 Redknapp Street, 608 Redknapp Street, 1551 Clartonica Street, 948 Girder Street. Bill 1362, resolution providing for the conveyance of the City of Pittsburgh of certain property, having been placed for sale to adjoining property owners in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh Side Yard Program, items A through N, 0 Beethoven Street, 5140 Dresden Way, 5439 Black Street, 0 Apple Street, 7316 Hermitage Street, 7803 Frankstown Avenue, 368 Flowers Avenue, 372 Flowers Avenue, 955 Manton Way, 983 Industry Street, 96 Pasadena Street, 481 Belonda Street, 827 Swissman Street, and 3616 Granada Street. Bill 1391, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Kathleen Spearman in the amount of $3,222 in settlement of a claim for damage to her residence entry and storm doors from city fire personnel on November 5th, 2021. And Bill 1398, a resolution further amending Resolution Number 864 of 2018, effective January 1st, 2019, as amended, entitled, Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2019 Capital Budget and the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Mon-Oakland Connector 4-mile run by $21,000 and increasing 4-mile run playground by $21,000.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess? Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross? Mr. Kraus?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger? Mrs. Warwick? Aye. Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith, President?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. That moves us on to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Works, or Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Madam President.
Remove that.
Councilman Anthony Coghill presents Bill 1425, Report of the Committee on Public Safety and Wellness for April 12, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1394, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with the State Office of the Fire Commissioner for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in the amount of $15,000 to support the purchase of emergency rescue equipment. And Bill 1395, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership to provide an ambassador program to assist police with non-criminal matters in the Central Business District at an overall cost to the city not to exceed $600,000.
You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? None? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess? Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Mr. Kraus?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith, President?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. That moves us on to Councilman Bruce Kraus, Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Bruce Kraus presents Bill 1426, Report of the Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for April 12, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1397, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the directors of the Department of Public Works and Department of Finance on behalf of the city to amend and renew the lease agreement with Beaver Avenue Associates, LLC, to continue providing a leased space at 1301 Beaver Avenue for the purposes of housing the Facilities Maintenance Division of the Department of Public Works for the total cost not to exceed $716,401.42 over a 5-year period, with utilities costs included, and an option to terminate without penalty between the 3 through 5 year period if necessary.
You've heard the reading of the title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of its passage will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess? Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Mr. Kraus?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith, President?
Aye.
8 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required number of votes is finally passed. That moves us on to Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Committee on Human Resources. Councilman Burgess?
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess presents Bill 1427, a report of the Committee on Human Resources for April 12, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1392, resolution providing for an agreement or agreements with Keen 360 Inc. to provide technical support and development to the Commission on Human Relations for its customer service portal for 1 year in the amount not to exceed $26,700.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith, President.
Aye.
8 ayes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. And that moves us on to our last committee of the day, Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, Committee on Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Erica Strasburger presents Bill 1428, a report of the Committee on Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services for April 12, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1368, resolution authorizing the Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation and/or the Director of the Office and Director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into agreements in individual amounts of $10,000 or less with performers, instructors, artists, referees, and persons with specialized skills in connection with the department's recreational and instructional programs and special event services.
You've heard the reading of the title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross. Oh, she's absent. Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith, President.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, are finally passed. That moves us on to motions and resolutions. I have a few meeting announcements. This afternoon at 2 p.m., Council will hold an executive session on Bill 1390 as it relates to a litigation settlement. Tomorrow, Wednesday, April 19th, Council Standing Committee's meeting is scheduled for 10 a.m. here in Chambers. To register to speak at this meeting, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage or call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Is there anything from members? Seeing none, can I have a motion to excuse the absent member, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.